Deep Dive, where emotions meet the stars and spirituality takes center stage. Join Sherianna Boyle and Carmen Schott as they explore astrology, mental health, manifesting, and so much more. Two women on a spiritual path, sharing wisdom, stories, and the magic of sisterhood. Ready to dive deep? Let's begin.
Ready to manifest your dreams? Carmen and Sherianna invite you to take a deep dive. Join this dynamic duo twice a month for guided manifesting practices and personalized astrological insights from Carmen. Don't miss this chance to align with the energy of the new moon. Visit sheriannaboyle.com/newmoonmanifesting to learn more and sign up today.
Welcome, everyone, to Deep Dive. I'm Sherianna Boyle.
I'm Carmen Schott.
And this is a show about astrology, emotions, and spirituality. And if you're new to the show, I'm Sherianna Boyle. I'm the author of 11 books. The latest book is called Just Ask Spirit.
And I'm Carmen, and I'm also the author of 11 astrology books and books on astrology and healing. And one of my most popular books is Moon Signs, Houses, and Healing, which tells you, about your emotional nature, how you find comfort, happiness, and also deal with the moon cycles, like the full moon and the new moon and things like that.
Awesome. And we love to kick off the show with a little bit of astrology update on what's going on, how it affects our emotions. So what's happening, Carmen?
Yes. So there's two major things that are going to be affecting you guys this week and all of us. And the number one thing is what's called Mercury retrograde. Mm-hmm. So in astrology, just real basic, is that Mercury is the planet of communication. And so when a planet goes retrograde, that means it's spinning backwards and it's blocked. So just think of it of energy. The energy is kind of wonky when it comes to communication. So there could be miscommunication. Anything with computers, technology, anything with, doing something new is not advised during Mercury retrograde. And it lasts for 4 to 6 weeks. It starts on March 15, and it is already affecting us a week before, where we call it the shadow period. It's already affecting us now. So there could be miscommunication, misperception. You take something differently than someone meant. There can be people from your past show up. This is also a common thing. And you're not supposed to do anything new and start a whole new project or buy something new on a whim or do anything, because usually when the planet goes back direct, you change your mind or something happens that makes the whole thing a mess. So we could talk to some stories today. Sherianna and I know some things, but the biggest thing with Mercury retrograde is it affects travel too, communication, travel. It's a time to reflect, reassess, and redo. So things you've already been putting off and procrastinating, it's a great time to get stuff done that you need to get finished, that you've already been doing and that you've maybe not finished. You'll have a lot of energy to do that. So that's the positive thing of it. But we can talk, there's a lot of things that happen, that have happened to me and at work, and people at work are like, what's going on? And I'm like, don't send an email. Don't do anything during Mercury retrograde, and double check, triple check, recheck, like as they say, reassess, step back. Don't do something impulsive. Make sure you really understand what somebody said, and you'll read an email and you'll think it said one thing, and then you'll go back and like, oh, that's not what it said. And you may have reacted like upset about it. And it's like, that's not really what the email said, then you're like, oh my gosh, or you may not get paid because something happens with the computer system and your check didn't show up in the bank. You're like, what's going on? So Mercury retrograde, I had a picture hanging at my desk at my office years ago it was like of a duck with a hammer, and it said Mercury retrograde, and he was hitting his computer with it because it causes a lot of confusion and delays.
Yeah. So, I find it gives a lot of, I think about frustration is the emotion that I'm thinking about when we connect. And I'm so happy that we're doing these, Carmen, and listeners, you can really come in every week now, because Deep Dive is a weekly show. And Carmen's always going to kind of let you know what's going on, so you don't think you're crazy here. And in terms of Mercury retrograde, yeah, the frustration levels go up, which we have to remember to really take time to go inward and process what's happening, those feelings, because impulsivity goes up as well. And I think that's the challenge. When things aren't working, frustration goes up. We get impulsive, we get triggered, and we have to remind ourselves that sometimes the trigger is just because computers can be triggering, travel can be triggering, and sometimes the triggers are unresolved emotions within us, right, Carmen? That things that are going on that we're not necessarily paying attention to. Would you agree in Mercury retrograde?
Yeah, definitely. Because, with Mercury retrograde too, it's like, if you were born with Mercury retrograde, you're the rare people out there that will not be affected as greatly by this, which I started noticing when I was doing astrology charts. And so you may feel better. So if you don't have some of these crazy things that you can look back and when Mercury's retrograde, it may not affect you as greatly as others, but, it's a time where like Virgo and Gemini people that are Virgo sun or Gemini are really affected more than any of the 12 signs, because they're ruled by the planet Mercury. That's their ruler. So that's a lot of energy of the mind, Mercury's thinking. So if your Mercury's not already retrograde in your birth chart, everyone on earth feels this. Like, this is like the full moon. It's energy. And you may not feel like talking. Like, if you're normally a real big talker, which I am, I love to talk. I'm on the phone all day. When Mercury goes retrograde, I just get like more introverted. Like your mind isn't as sharp and as quick as it usually is. And that's normal, because everything's slowed down mentally when Mercury, specifically the planet of what we think and our ideas and communication, is blocked in a way.
I feel like relationships, sometimes the blockages in them come up too. And I know there's been times in my life, Carmen, during Mercury retrograde where what hit the fan.
Old issues come back.
Old issues come up. And if there's not a foundation there, I mean, you kind of sometimes learn a lot about people during Mercury retrograde in terms of whether you're meant to really, what's going to happen, with this relationship. Do you find that breakups happen more often has that been researched?
Yes, there's research on Mercury retrograde. And one of the things is, expect old conversations to resurface. That's one of the researches. Misunderstandings to arise, plenty of opportunities to revise plans, especially around self-expression and emotional connections. And then it's a re-experiencing of things that we didn't fully learn or fully deal with. So for me, every time Mercury has been retrograde this year, or I'd say the last couple of years, there's one person specifically in my life. I'm not going to say where.
I think I know who that is.
The same pattern and issue comes back, and she starts doing the same thing she did before to me. And it's like, here we go again. And it's like, I have to learn to stand up and speak up for myself kind of vibe. And so sometimes these old issues, these old experiences, old lovers come back. I can't tell you how many times through the years when I started learning astrology that I'm like, oh my God, this is like so accurate, because I'll get an email from like when I remember when I first got married, somebody that I used to date, like in college, wrote me out of the blue. And it was Mercury retrograde. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know who this is. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great. I'm in Germany. I'm married, okay. So old lovers, old flames, old people come back, but it doesn't mean you're supposed to do anything about it.
Doesn't mean you're supposed to get back with them.
No, don't do it. There's something there that you're meant to heal or understand or reassess or think about, like reflect on. That's all.
I had that happen to me. I had an old boyfriend call me and tell me he had a dream about me.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, so many people
Yeah.
tell me, like, why did this guy call me that hurt me? He broke my heart 5 years ago. Haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
Carmen, he just wrote me. And I'm like, it's Mercury retrograde. And it would be. I mean, when I do my counseling consults, it's like, yeah, Mercury's retrograde. And so it is gonna affect us, guys, and you're gonna notice it. And it's okay, because the good news is focus on reevaluating things, and don't take on old stuff that you know was from the past. It's coming back, because that's what a retrograde planet does. And it's just see the energy, know that this is what's going on, and then you'll understand, okay, this is Mercury retrograde, guys. I don't need to get back with this old person. Also, relationships that start during Mercury retrograde often don't last. Not that it won't, but just be a little cautious, somebody brand new, because when it goes direct again, you may be feeling like, I don't know who this is at all. Like
you may change your mind. Interesting. You know, I just want everyone to know here on the radio that Carmen and I, in addition to doing deep dive with you every single week, we also have a new moon manifesting group, and we work on the new moon, around the new moon and the full moon. It's called New Moon Manifesting. You go to sheriannaboyle.com/new moon manifesting, and you get to hang out with Carmen and I live twice a month. We do it the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we support you and help you manifest. I do the emotional processing and some of the Just Ask Spirit, and Carmen shares really amazing manifesting tools. And folks, we are manifesting. We have someone in our group who just manifested a new job. Carmen's like on fire with her manifesting. It's a lot of fun. We have to circle in for a quick break, but we'll come right back after the break. More from Deep Dive. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Carmen Turner Schott, author and psychological astrologer. My newest books are Your Astrological Energy and Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon. Both offer powerful insights to help you understand your emotions and your spiritual journey through astrology. Discover how your birth chart can help you heal, transform, and become more resilient. Visit my website today at carmenturnershott.com and grab your copies on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and online stores.
Looking to transform your life? Sherianna Boyle, author of 11 powerful books, invites you to take a deep dive. Explore her emotional detox series, discover manifesting with energy in action, and connect with spirit in her latest book, Just Ask Spirit. Start your journey today. Find all her books at sheriannaboyle.com.
Welcome back to Deep Dive.
I'm really excited, because the one big thing this week that we haven't talked about yet is on March 14th, there's a full moon, and not just that, a total lunar eclipse, which is a double whammy of energy, guys. So
which day is that? March
14th.
Okay.
Very important to do this, because whenever there's a full moon or a lunar eclipse, it's you can manifest what you want a lot more intensely. You can really feel connected to the energy of this, because it's a time to really take hold. So you want to see, what sign is the full moon in? What sign is the eclipse in? And lunar means moon. Okay, so it's the sun and moon, right? And so the full moon will be in Virgo, which is all about when there's a full moon, you're more emotional. You're feeling things deeply. And it's very intense for some people, and they feel it, when there's a full moon. People, maybe have sleep problems. People have energy. They feel like they're going and going, and they can't sleep because their mind's going all night. They're full of energy, gets things done. You could be more emotional. But during a Virgo full moon and eclipse, it's going to be about healing, and our health is going to be a focus, I think, with this lunar eclipse and full moon, and anything self-care and helping other people, serving others is kind of the vibe of the energy. So it's just a good time, guys, to think about what your goals are. What do you want? Do you want to change your life? make affirmations. That's my tips, what to do this month, and to be careful with your communication. And some of the tips, that I would advise is just to reflect, journal. Don't respond. Don't start anything new. Don't sign any contracts during this time, with this Mercury retrograde going on. So listen to your soul, but take care of your health. And spend some time getting organized. That's the big thing with this full moon and lunar eclipse, getting organized.
I love that. And there's always something so refreshing about getting organized from an emotional perspective. And I think, something that's been coming up a lot with people that I work with, Carmen, is we have to be careful about self-abuse.
Yeah.
And there's many variations of self-abuse. There's a range. Sometimes it's substances that we're using, and so when you have energy, like what I'm hearing you say, Carmen, is that there's some things in our favor here.
Yes.
Right. We've got the eclipse.
Yes.
We've got the energies that are going to support us.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had a time in your life where everything was set up for you.
Yeah.
But somehow you sabotaged it.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? Well, a lot of times we do it to ourselves, don't we? I mean, we do it because we're afraid.
Yeah. Afraid of change. Fear.
We go into fear. I know when my husband, poor guy, I feel horrible telling this story, but I'll never forget when he went to ask me to marry him. So we went to the beach, and I could tell all the signs were there. It was going to happen.
Oh man.
I freaking got cold feet and picked a fight.
You did?
I did.
Oh my gosh, Sherianna. I didn't know this.
I did. I think I was just scared. I think it was just fear. It wasn't like a huge fight. I think I just nitpicked or something. And it was enough to make him wait, put it off.
He did put it off. Oh, wow.
Well, it was like the next day, it was like, it wasn't like it delayed it, but it just was enough. I got scared. I don't know what it was. Something in fear in me came in.
The fear of change and the unknown. That's exactly what I've been,
yeah.
It's funny because, when you're a counselor, when you're helping people, we're good at giving everybody else advice, and don't be afraid. This is fear, trust yourself, trust your gut. But when your life is like turning upside down or you're like afraid, like that's what happened to me lately. I realize a lot of it is and I hear this from a lot of people that I talk to. I'm like, what are you afraid of? Ask yourself. Security. It's the sense of things might go wrong and I don't have security. So it's kind of like you have to have faith and trust in the universe, higher power to take care of you.
Yeah.
And that some of this stuff, like when you told me some of the stuff that has started happening in my life, like I got, blindsided. You said, Carmen, you asked for this.
Yeah, you have been asking for this. Plus, we run these manifesting circles. So
I was kind of mad, though. I was a little bit. I'm like, no, though, but this hurts because change sometimes hurts.
But we judge it. See, the thing is, and that's what I mean. Back to the self-sabotage, everyone. This is what Carmen is telling you. Things are set up. Things are in your favor. It's a good time to get organized. Yes. And watch yourself. And I've had to watch myself. When things are all lined up, do I somehow mess it up? I think sometimes when you grow up in an environment, as I did, where things, something always seemed to go wrong. It's too good to be true sometimes. We don't believe it, or sometimes we don't believe we deserve it. And perhaps that was what was happening to me in that moment, is I was, not used to having someone so wonderful want to be with me. I was used to like the bad guys who, so anyway, we do that. So my tip for everyone is, to really let's just call that out and be mindful that, you let yourself, you deserve it. You deserve to have what you want in your life, and to maybe say some affirmations, or come join our group, come join our New Moon Manifesting group. If you need support and you're like, you know what, I'm really having a hard time with that. That's why we come together, because there is the power of numbers, right, Carmen?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like I really love doing our groups, our circles. I look forward to it every month because it helps me too. Like in the energy, it's just like so intense and so supportive. And like, I mean, it works. It's like, I think, it's like, be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. And then, when we start getting signs, we got to listen. We can have an affirmation, but then the universe will give you little nibbits of signs that we sometimes just ignore. It's leading us to getting to where our main affirmation is, our main goal. But sometimes to get there, which I'm learning, is you have to completely change your life. Sometimes you got to completely change your job. You might have to move. You might have to completely get uncomfortable a little bit at first.
Or a lot of it. Yes.
Yeah. And this is what my tip is. Somebody said to me, you deserve to do what you love to do and be happy. And when I heard that this week, and then also what you were saying to me, that, be thankful and thank the universe because I asked for this. Then I realized, you know what, right. This is exactly what I want to be doing. It's just fear that keeps you in what you're used to doing. That even though if it's like an old rut, like it's like stagnant energy, sometimes it takes a kick in the butt to you to know it's dead. It's done. You're done. And you're just ready to walk away. You're ready to make it.
Yeah. In those moments, it's so helpful to fall on your strengths.
Yes.
To remember your strengths. What are you strong at? Not what are you weak at, or what scares you, or what you're afraid of failing at. I would encourage everyone to really, really hunker down in what your strengths are. I mean, I know your strengths, Carmen, because I know you well enough to know, you're extremely hardworking. So am I. And I've always was raised from a family where, no matter what, I'll do anything. I mean, I nothing's beneath me. Yeah. And if everything fell apart, I can do anything. I don't need to have a certain way of life to be successful. Right. So lean into your strengths, folks.
Yeah. And trust your gut. That's a big thing too, because that little voice inside. And also listen to your dreams. Like when you dream at night, a lot of times, like I believe our dreams give us signs and messages. I was dreaming all kinds of stuff before my life turned upside down. And now I laugh because I'm like, oh my gosh.
I was in a couple of your dreams.
You've been in my dreams more lately.
I'm getting these texts. You were in my dreams. Your husband were in my dreams.
I know. And if
we were having dinner together, right?
Something I tell someone that, it's very rare, because if I dream about someone, there's usually a reason. I dreamed about us doing a show together.
That's right.
Yes. I had a dream of doing a radio show together, and we were like, and I knew, and it was a good feeling when I woke up. So I had some dreams that weren't so good, guys, where it was like the car's out of control and I'm in the passenger seat and I fell asleep. And I had to take the wheel, and I'm getting back on track, and I ended up being okay. Even though I was like going fast on the highway and the person driving was passed out, I made it okay and woke up. And then everything, boom, hit my life, to really change what I do for really my job, my work, and what I'm going to do for my future. So I'm in a complete rebirth now. So I'm ready for it.
You are. And we look so forward to hearing about your rebirth. I love that we're starting the show and you're starting a new life, and I'm sure we'll hear drips of that every single week. So excited to be doing this with you. And for everyone out there, thanks so much for listening to an episode on Deep Dive. We hope that you'll join us next Sunday, where every Sunday, that's where you're going to get your deep dive scoop for another episode of Deep Dive. And you can also catch us on YouTube. It's called Deep Dive with Carmen and Sherianna. So go to YouTube, and we would love it if you post your questions there. So when you go there, let us know how you like the show and any questions that you have for us, and we'd be happy to answer it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank
Hang
you so
in there, guys. You got this. Hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there, and we'll see you next time on Deep Dive. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Deep Dive with Sherianna Boyle and Carmen Turner Schott. If today's episode inspired you, don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave us a review. For more insights and resources, visit carmenturnerschott.com and sheriannaboyle.com. Until next time, keep diving deep into your soul's journey.